45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We're starting about 13 minutes later than usual. That is because I fell asleep and I just woke up going, oh shoot. So, if you've been waiting around going, this guy's never late, not this late, that's probably because I'm usually not this bad. But some stuff happened, and it's okay because we're still here. We're still practicing consistency, and if you are waiting for some side splits or some hip mobility, well, good thing is I'm here now, and we're ready to begin. So let's do this. It's time for some hip cars. I fell asleep laying down on the floor waiting for the show to begin, and so now my arms are super numb. If you're just joining. A little weak and tired right now, so we'll see how this goes. All right, I'm gonna grab my stool that we'll need later for the side splits. I'm gonna close the door. Is the dog even in here right now? Oh, yes, it is. Hi, doggo. Let's go. Whew! It's time to get ready to warm up. Let's go, Heine. Open. Ooh. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. Heine. Open. Ooh. Open up some more. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two. Whew. Oh man, I'm struggling with balance. Hold on. I'm gonna turn off this fan. And let's do this again. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. If you're joining in for the first time, by the way, we're gonna break down a slightly different variation of the hip car in just a second. Down and back, that's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back, that's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That is 10 hip cars in the front. The way we do them on the live, try to get people going so they don't have to have a whole bunch of cushioning, they don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff. But eventually, we always end up on the floor. We end up using a lot of those things. So it seems silly for me to not talk about some hip cars where you are down on all fours, right? The next hip car for the other leg, I want you to see if you can rest your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Get into this position, and I want you to start by bringing your knee up, just like before, but you're going to tuck your knee into your chest this time. Then we're going to lift that leg up to the side. If you're into Pilates or something, this might be called a fire hydrant. We're going to lift that leg as high as we can. Then we're going to rotate this leg so that the knee is coming down into the ground, and you're lifting the foot, the bottom of the foot up into the air as high as you can. Then we're going to bring that leg down and back, but in this case, it's lifting that flat part of your foot up as high as you can. Lift, 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 and then we'll restart by bringing it down. All right. If you're an experienced old hand at the hip cars, feel free to continue doing them on one leg and going like this. But if you're new anyway, feel free to experiment. It might be easier for you to balance having both your legs and your arms down on the ground. Well, one of them on the ground. Cool? All right. I'm going to just do 10 on the ground. Let's do this. Heels down, knees down, hips down, hands down, shoulders. Oh, sorry. Hands down, below your shoulders, knees down, below your hips. And let's go. We're doing 10 of these. Knee, open, ankle up, down and back. Knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's two. Knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's three. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 4 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 5. If you're doing these standing, that is absolutely a-okay, all right? There's no need for you to switch. But if you've always struggled with balance, every time we've been doing these, feel free to experiment. It's going to change the way you do these. Some of the muscles are going to feel completely different because you're fighting against gravity a little harder at slightly different places. And high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 9. Last one, high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 10. Whoo! Those are some hip guards. Man, because we don't do them every single day in this exact way, I'm tired. That was a lot. Shake out your legs, especially if you're trying something new today, and do a little wiggle, do a flop, shake out some of that tension. A lot of the time when you're trying something new, your muscles are going to be extra tense because they're just figuring out and they're just trying really hard and overdoing it. So you might be even more tired than you normally would be because they're just extra tense. All right. Now we're going to take another breath or two, and we're going to get into reverse hip curls. All right. Feel free to do them however you want. If you want to do them on the ground on all fours, feel free to do that. I'm going to demonstrate a regular style so that we can get on with our hip curls and get back into the rest of our show. Okay, let's go. All your weight is in one leg. Focus on bringing the leg down and back. All right. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. Feel the stretch right here. Lift this leg up to the side. Rotate the leg so that the ankle is up, the knee is down. Do the opposite. Rotate so that the ankle down is down and the knee is up. Then we're going to bring the knee to the front. All right. That is one rep. We're doing 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. Let's begin. Stand up nice and straight. Keep that core tight and boom, back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 1. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 5. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 6. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 8. Last 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 9. Last 1. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Whew. That is 10 reverse hip curls. Catch your breath. Shake out your hips. Do a little dance. Do a little wiggle. Do a little shake. Flop your legs around. Help relax. And let's get ready to wrap things up with our fourth and final hip curl. That last hip. Let's go. Keep that core nice and tight. Leg back behind you. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 1. Bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. Lift that leg to the side. Rotate the ankle up. Bring the knee down. Do the opposite. Lift the knee up. Bring the ankle down. Bring that knee forward. That's 2. Got 8 more. Let's go. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 4. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 5. By the way, if you're struggling with balance, feel free to stick your arm out, grab something. You don't have to do this floating by yourself like me. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. I think that's 6. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 7. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 8. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 9. Last 1. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Woo! That is 10 reverse hip curls for the other hip. we're done with our hip curls. If you just dropped in and you're like, wait, we're 24 minutes deep into the live and this is where we're at, that's because I fell asleep on the floor waiting for the live to start, and then I overslept by like 12 minutes, and so we were already 12 minutes into the next live, done with our hip curls, but we started like 12 minutes late. All right, and I'm super out of breath because I'm all shocked from having woken up going, oh god, it's 10 minutes into the live already, and we've been sleeping. All right, so if you're here, you're a regular. Thank you for staying around, staying on TikTok, staying on YouTube, coming back to the show when I finally decided to show up. And if you're brand new to this show, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day, and we're going to move on into warm up exercise number 2. So make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and I'll see you every single day, like tomorrow. All right, let's go. Warm up exercise number 2. We are folding at the waist. Whee! And we're getting that stretch in our hamstrings. And then we're going to relax. Inhale. Flop over. Chill. Bend one knee. Keep on flopping. Try to bring your belly button down a little bit deeper. Feel that stretch growing in your hamstrings. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Flop some more. And we're going to start moving. All right, we're going to switch the leg that is bent, and we're going to switch the leg that is straight. We're going to keep on switching from side to side. Oh, I'm really feeling it today. Jeez. Take your time. Breathe. Switch from side to side. Feel that tension growing in your hamstrings. This does not have to be explosive. This does not have to be super fast or intense. But what I do want you to do is slowly work your way across from side to side. Get a little bit of a stretch. Get a little bit of focus on bringing your belly button down towards the ground. And each time you shift, each time you move, see if you can keep on getting that tiny bit closer, right? Whew. Keep breathing. Keep switching from side to side. There isn't an exact number. Just some time to give you some filler. Like, we do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you should definitely come back for more. Because usually we start on time. More or less. Like, plus or minus 2 minutes, not 12. Right? We're going to keep doing this for a couple more seconds, and then we're going to get a little bit deeper very intentionally. We're going to fold a little bit harder, and then we'll be done with these, right? What I want you to do now, that hopefully your hamstrings have warmed up a little bit, is once again focus on the belly button. Fold a little further. Fold a little further. Feel that stretch getting worse, getting more intense, and fold. Bring that knee up. Sink into that stretch. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, pop into a little bit of squat. Come on back into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. Shake out your legs, flop them around, let them go loose and relax. And we're gonna move on into warm-up exercise number 3. All right. What I want you to do is called thoracic rotation. We're gonna get in back. We're gonna get back into the position we were just in, where one leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're folding forward. All right. What we're going to do next, though, is we're going to take our hand from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg side. We're going to push off that shin bone, push off near the ankle. We're going to help open up our chest. We're going to help ourselves rotate by pushing off our leg. And we're going to stick our other arm straight up into the sky. We're going to rotate our neck to look at that hand. And we're going to inhale, exhale, and reach that reach that arm behind us. Exhale. Ooh, that is half a rep. Whew, we gotta do the other side. So, same thing on the other side. This leg is bent, this leg is straight. We're taking the arm from the bent leg side, reaching across to the straight leg. We're pushing off that shin. We're rotating. Look at the hand. Inhale, exhale, reach. Woo, that is 1 rep. We're doing 5 of these in total, so take your time and reach Exhale. When you exhale, as the air is coming out, it's going to make it easier to rotate, easier to twist because it takes the pressure out of your chest when there's no air in there, right? And I want you to rotate, right? Take your time. I talk fast. It does not mean you have to move fast, all right? Let's begin. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Woo. That's two on one side. Let's go ahead and do the other. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Woo. That's two. Again. Knee. Bent. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's three. Other side. You can experiment a little with how wide your legs are. You can experiment with a little. You can experiment with a little. You can experiment a little with how high you grip your leg when you start that rotation. You can experiment and have fun with it, right? I think we're going for number three. No, we just finished three, right? We're going for number four. Four. It seems fast. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's four. And inhale, exhale. That's four. Last one. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Inhale, exhale. Reach. And last one. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Woo! Oh man, I really needed that one. When we first started the rotations, I could barely reach just a little bit over my shoulder, and finally, on that fifth and final one, got a little bit better. Whew. All right, that is our third warm-up exercise. It's called thoracic rotation. We're going to move on into the fourth and final warm-up exercise. It is called the Cossack switch. What we're going to do looks a little bit like this. I want you to open up your stance. It doesn't have to be crazy wide. It's not going to stay this wide regardless, so we'll be adjusting no matter what. And I want you to slowly come down into a deep squat on one side. If you're new to the show, you might need to stop somewhere in the middle, right here. You might not go as far down. If you've been here for a while, feel free to drop a little lower, get a little bit chiller into a deeper stretch, and once you're as deep as you can handle, wherever that is for you, we're going to scoot our butts over that away. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. I want you to focus on staying control, staying balanced, maybe using your hands for a little bit of support as you bring your hips across to the same position, but on the other side. And then come on back. That is one rep. If you are newer to the show, you're not quite as low, and you can do it without your hands on the ground, feel free to continue without your hands on the ground. If you're somewhere in the middle, it's a little difficult to reach the floor, feel free to use a coffee table, use an ottoman, use a stool to help support yourself over to the side, and then come on back. All right? We're going to count those. That's going to be two. Let's do 8 more. Come on back, and let's go across. Sink into that stretch, sit a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale, and come on back. That's 3. And back, and back. That's 4. If you're feeling strong, if you feel like you're ready for a bigger challenge, feel free to keep your butt low, scoot your hips over to the other side, and come on back without using your hands. I think that's 5. Keep going. And keep going. That's 6. If you're ready for something else, feel free to continue with me. If this is already too much for you, stay wherever you're at, or stick with hands down. All right. Try to stand up a little bit straighter. Bring your chest up a little higher. Bring your head up a little higher. Flex your low back muscles. Shift your arms in front of you to help counterbalance your weight. And come on across. 7. And 7. 8. And 8. At this point, if your knees are getting a little bit achy, from the side to side, from staying super low, we're going to change that up by coming up a little bit higher, right? This is relative to you and where your switches are happening. So come up a little bit first, slide across, sink down, then up, then slide and sink down again. Last one. Come on up just a little bit, slide across, come on down with control, come on back up. This is the 10th and final one. Slide across and down. That is 10 Cossack switches, 10 Cossack slidey things, and hopefully you felt your hips loosening up, felt your knees, your ankles getting a little bit more crazy, and you're ready to get into the meat of our show. That was the fourth and final warm-up exercise. 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit easier to stay consistent with. So, if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you like the idea of a whole bunch of people on the internet practicing consistency together, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back, set an alarm, set a reminder, calendar invite, and I'll try to do the same because today we started a little bit late because I fell asleep on the floor right here waiting for the live to start, and then I woke up 10 minutes deep into the live time. So I guess I have to take my own advice and set some alarms now. All right, let's go get into our first stretch. It is called the hamstring stretch. What I want you to do if you're at home is to grab a little bit of padding for your knee. I have a little tiny piece of foam, which is the same foam that the floor underneath me is made of. You do not need anything fancy, all right? If you have an old flip-flop, stick it under your knee. If you have an old pair of sneakers, stick one under your knee. If you have old dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee. Couch cushion, decorative pillow, perfect, stick it under your knee. You got a ripped up, destroyed dog toy that your dog loved way too much, stick that under your knee, all right? Once you got a little bit of padding for your knee, we're ready to begin. We're ready to get into our hamstring stretch. What I want you to do is kneel up nice and straight and nice and tall, all right? From the side, I want it to look a little bit like this. Your knees to your hips, hips to your shoulders, shoulders to your head are in a nice, straight, powerful line. And I want you to extend one leg out in front while maintaining that nice straight line, all right? The next step is to fold the belly button down to that thigh, and it looks a little like this. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck folding forward, inhale, relax, flop your body over that leg. Again, we're going to do this 3 times in total. 2 more. Inhale, relax. That's 2. Third time's the charm. Let's go. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. Next up, we're going to add a little bit of movement, right? What I want you to do is lean forward, bring your knees up. I want you to bring your chest, your torso down to that thigh. Touch it as much as you can. If you can't reach, that's okay, but try your best, right? Put your hands down to make it a little easier on yourself, and I want you to straighten out that leg so that you're back in that really intense deep stretch, all right? That's 1. We're going to do 5 of these. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straightening out. 3. These are practice for what we actually care about. That is the art, the skill of folding forward. Bring your chest down to your legs. That's 5. All right. Hopefully, you're feeling a little bit more mobile in this position. You're getting a little bit deeper without feeling super uncomfortable, because we're going to get us a little deeper and we're going to make us uncomfortable next. All right, let's go. We're going to do the inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to take a big breath in. We're going to slowly exhale a whole bunch of air. And while we exhale, we're going to fold our belly button down towards the ground, or at least to the thigh. All right, big breath in. Let's go. Inhale, exhale, and fold, 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 fold. Woo! It's okay if you don't fold very far. It's all right. No worries. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. Oh, try to keep balance, keep in control. Inhale, relax again. Inhale. That's 2. 1 more. Inhale. Relax. That is 3. Now we're going to move. Let's go. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. I have my shoulder tucked onto the inside of the leg. So from the front, it looks a little like this when I'm trying to bring my chest down. If you need to go a little bit deeper and you can't get there, feel free to shift your weight inside of your leg. I think that's 4. Last one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That is 5. It's time for us to go a little bit deeper. Y'all ready? Let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Last time. Let's do this. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Inhale, relax. 2 more. Inhale. Relax. That's 2. Third time's a charm. Let's go. Inhale. Relax. Woo. That is a whole bunch. We got some more movement. These are optional. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Hopefully, while you've been doing the knee up, chest down, straightening it out, you have found that it's easier for you to bring your chest down a little bit lower. You don't need to lift your knee as high to touch your chest and your thigh together. That is what we slowly want. Doesn't have to happen right away, but it's what we slowly want. We're done. 30 seconds. We're just hanging out for the rest. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you want to focus on straightening out your spine, that will help make gravity feel way more intense while you're folding forward. If you want to just focus on chilling and relaxing, that's also totally fine. 20, 19, 18. That relaxing might have your back round a little bit. That's all right. 15, 14, 13, 12. If your knees are a little bit tender, a little bit achy, feeling a lot of pressure, you can give them a slight bend. When you bend the knees, focus on bringing your chest down to that thigh. Try your very best to get them to touch. And when your knee is bent, your knee shouldn't hurt as much. You can focus on increasing the stretch by folding forward and then slowly straightening out your leg at the end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's our stretch. That was our hamstring stretch. Whew! We've only done one leg so far. How is that possible? This leg feels fried. Okay. Grab a quick breath. Chill. Come back into kneeling. Start to wiggle out this leg a little bit. Get some movement. It's been stretched out for so long. Sometimes your muscles are going to feel a little sleepy, a little weak. Bring that knee underneath you. Then I want you to spank yourself real quick. Clench your butt like somebody's going to spank you even harder than you just spanked yourself. Let your muscles wake up in the glutes. And then I want you to contract your abs like somebody's going to give you a little punch. And whew, you can relax again. What we just did, trying to contract those muscles, was to help wake them up so that you can get into a nice strong posture before we fold again. All right? Right here. Knees to hips, hips to shoulders, shoulder to head. Nice straight line. Extend one leg out in front. You can open up your legs a little wider for balance, for support if you need it. But if you don't, bring it forward. All right? Let's go. Belly button down to the floor. Fold, 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 fold. As soon as you get stuck, we're ready to inhale, relax, breathe. Let your body flop over that leg. Again, inhale. Exhale and flop over that leg. That's 2. Again, number 3. Inhale. Relax. That is our third stretch. Or sorry, a third breath. It's time to move. Knee up. Chest down. Ooh, straighten it out. That first one was rough. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Again, these are not explosive. They don't have to be fast. We're just practicing folding forward because at the end of the day, that is what we want. We want to fold our upper body down to our thighs with straight legs, of course. That's 5. Once you're here, we're going to get a little bit deeper. You ready? Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. And inhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop some more. Third time's a charm. Keep on inhaling and flopping when you exhale. Inhale. Let that body flop over that leg and Let's get back to moving. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's two. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's three. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's four. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's five. At this point, if you're realizing that one leg is way more flexible than the other, that is normal. Don't be worried about it. This is why we split up into two different legs, so you can do the best that you can with each leg. We are ready to get a little deeper. This is the last time, all right? You ready? Big breath in, exhale, and fold. Big breath, inhale. Exhale and fold, 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 fold. Woo! That's number 3. Inhale, relax. Inhale. Relax a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale. Drape your body into the ground. Inhale. Drape your body over that leg in. Last round. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten out. Don't hold your breath. Keep on breathing. Straighten it out. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten out. That's 4. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 5. We're holding here. Let's go. 30. 29. 28. 27, just like before. If you got an achy knee, bend it slightly. Fold your chest down to that thigh. Your knee is going to bend. The pressure is going to come off the knee. I want you to focus on folding. And as you get deeper into your stretch, you can slowly straighten out that leg again until you're as deep as possible. All right? You don't have to straighten it out. Put that pain back in the knee until the very end. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Just like before, if you try to straighten out your spine a little bit, you'll feel a little bit more from gravity pulling you down. 12, 11, 10, but it's totally fine if you just drape, let your body relax. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our other hamstring. We are done with the first stretch. If you're new to the show, a lot of our other stretches are a little dependent on the fact that our hamstrings are loose so we can focus on some of the other muscles. So we spend a lot of time in that hamstring stretch. That does not mean the next stretch is going to be nearly as long or painful. It shouldn't actually hurt. I'm mostly joking, but ugh. Let's move on to our second stretch. We're doing some butterfly, all right? I want you to move your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head into the wall. Not actually into the wall, I guess onto the wall. Nice and straight. Lean back. Feel this nice posture. All right. From here, we're going to bring our feet together. We're going to grab them, pull them into our groin, and this is how we're starting our second stretch, the butterfly stretch. The goal of this stretch is to stretch out your groin muscles, the inside of your thighs. The way we do that is by bringing the knees down into the ground. I want you to get control. I want you to build strength when you're doing this training. So I want you to flex your glutes. I want you to flex your outer thighs. I want you to bring your knees down into the ground using your own muscle power. All right. So take a second. Shift your butt back into alignment along the wall. And let's open up those legs. Bring the knees down. Flex those muscles. And if you're new to the show, don't worry about the details. Just focus on 2 things. 1, your inner thighs are getting more intense because you're stretching harder. Your knees kind of went down just a teeny tiny little bit. All right. As long as you're moving in the right direction, that's all that matters. Next, we're taking our hands. We're applying a little bit of pressure to the inside of the knee. All right. Not way out here. Inside a little bit. I want you to push straight down into the ground. Start gentle, and if it's comfortable, you can apply a little bit more pressure. All right, we're holding here for 30 seconds. Inhale, exhale, and push a little deeper. 30, 29, 28. Keep breathing. As you exhale, push a little deeper. 25, 24, 23. As long as it's not a sharp, intense, crazy pain, you're just stretching, and that's okay. All right, 20. 19, 18, 17. Keep breathing. Keep pushing those legs down. 15, 14, 13, 12. If you've forgotten the instruction to flex those glutes, flex those outer thighs, get back to it. Flex those glutes, flex those outer thighs. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Oh, again, all those movements, it shouldn't be painful. If it's mildly uncomfortable, if it's not the most comfortable sensation, that's that's pretty normal. You're stretching. But if there's a sharp pain, if something goes ugh, and you feel something really intense, that's probably not what's supposed to happen. So if you do start feeling that way when you're pushing down on your legs, take a break, dial it back, chill, and if you're otherwise good, let's shake out our legs, flap the wings of our hands and our knees, and get ready to jump into warm up exercise. Stretch number 3. All right, we're doing some standing pancake next, and I want you to make sure your legs are working before you do that. So flap your knees up and down, and if your wrists are tired, feel free to flap those too. All right, let's move on. Stretch number 3, standing pancake. The standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We're gonna stand up. We're gonna open up our legs decently wide. Doesn't have to be crazy. As long as your legs are a little bit wide open, we're ready to begin. Make sure your hips don't hurt. You can do a little wiggle, you can do a little hula hooping. And if you are able to do that, there's no pinching pain here in either side of the hip. We're ready to fold. Bring your belly button down towards the ground. Whee! Ugh. When you are here, this is our starting position. All right. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. The goal of this stretch is to fold your upper body basically in between your legs as deep as you can. This is partially why we spent so much time in the hamstring stretch, because that folding forwardness is a lot on your hamstrings. But there's more to this than just folding forward. The second component is opening up your legs a little bit wider, right? The wider you go, the more intense the stretch is going to be in your inner thighs, and how wide you go is completely up to you. It's optional, right? So challenge yourself. If you're looking for a challenge this afternoon, if you're a little tired, you're feeling a little sick, don't challenge yourself. Just go through some of the motions, keep your body feeling loose, and that's good enough. All right, let's go. I want you to open up your legs as wide as you want and fold forward. Fold, 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 fold. Bring your belly button down towards the ground. To get gravity to give you as much help as possible, I want you to try and straighten out your back. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try your best. And then to make it feel a little bit more intense, extend your arms so that your biceps are by your ears. And next time you inhale, exhale. Let gravity pull you down a little bit deeper. All right. If that is not enough for you, you want a little bit more, feel free to grab a water bottle, maybe a small dumbbell, a couple of textbooks, and put those in your hands as you extend your arms in front of you. That will make everything a lot harder. I promise you, 5 pounds is gonna feel like a lot. Start nice and easy, start nice and light. Cool? If you're a little bit more experienced, I want you to try to stick your butt backwards. All right? When you do that, you're going to automatically be folding forward a little bit more, right? But your upper body will still be pretty high up. That's going to give you a lot more room so that your face doesn't smash into the floor, and that's basically why we're sticking our butts back, so your face doesn't smash into the floor. That's it. That's everything. Open up your legs a little wider now if you're ready for it. Bring the belly button down. Bring the belly button down some more. Wide. And fold. When you're ready, let's begin. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 26, 25. Yours does not have to look like mine. 24, 23, 22. Just remember, the belly button is coming down. We're trying to keep our backs, our arms relatively straight. We're trying to fold forward. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done with those. Woo! Put your hands down on the ground. That was our pancake. If you can, bring your legs in together. If you went really wide and you're really challenged, your inner thighs, this might be a little bit hard. Wiggle your toes and your heels in towards the center of your body, nice and slow until your legs are underneath you. Then you can walk your hands up your legs and come back into standing. That is our standing pancake. If you get really, 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 really deep into this, you stick your butt really far back, you basically end up in a seated pancake eventually. All right, but there are a couple other variations. If you're pretty flexible in that standing pancake, you're feeling pretty good, you can also drop your butt onto a stool, something relatively low, set up for folding forward like so. Okay? So when you come back next time, feel free to change it up a little bit for where you're at in your flexibility journey. All right. For most people, the standing stretch is going to have gravity pulling us down, helping out a lot. And for most of us, that's what we need. All right. That's our third stretch. It's time to move on into our fourth stretch. We got the option between the figure four and the pigeon stretch. If you're a regular, you know exactly what this is. Hop into whatever you want. I'm trying to remember what we did yesterday. I think we did the pigeon yesterday, so it's time for some figure four. I explain one stretch every day, and let's talk about the figure four. Both stretches have the same fundamentals. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other side, making this thing that vaguely looks like the number four. We're going to grab that ankle, we're going to lift it up to our belly button. We're going to bring our belly button down to that ankle. We're going to fold forward, just like everything else that we do. Folding forward, lots of folding. You're going to feel a stretch out here in your hip. That is a glute muscle. You're probably going to feel a stretch here in your hamstrings. Your hamstrings are usually, behind your leg, but when you lift the leg and you rotate it this way, it's going to be on the inside here. All right? Let's get into the figure four. I feel like we might have done the figure four yesterday. I'm flashing to memories, but it's okay. We'll do the figure four again. Lay on down. Oh, this is the best part of doing the figure four. You get to lay down, you get to chill for a second. The not so great part is you got to work really hard to pull your own leg into your chest instead of letting gravity do most of the work. So let's demonstrate. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other side, we're making this triangle. I want you to stick one hand through that triangle, other hand I want you to wrap around the other leg, and I want you to pull everything into your chest. All right? Before we start counting down, I want you to breathe in. I want you to pull your leg into your chest. And then I want you to exhale, and I want you to pull your leg into the chest. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, we're pulling the leg into the chest no matter what. Inhale again. Exhale. Pull that leg into the chest. Again, inhale. Exhale. Pull that leg into the chest. Once you're feeling that nice deep stretch, we're ready to begin. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. Keep on pulling. Keep on bringing those legs into your chest. Feel that stretch in the outside of your hip and your glute muscles. If your knee is feeling a little bit achy, there's a little too much pressure on this knee, you can palm the knee, you can cup it in your elbow pit, and you can pull that in directly to your chest. All right? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Keep pulling, keep breathing. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Flop on the floor, relax, chill. That is our figure four stretch. Take a second, catch your breath, relax, feel those muscles loosening, and let's switch over to the other side. Other leg, crossing on over, making that triangle. Stick your hand through the triangle, other hand around the outside of the leg, and we're ready to pull it in. All right, inhale, pull that leg in, exhale, pull that leg in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and bring that leg in. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28. Just like before, you can cup the knee, you can stick it in your elbow pit, pull it into your chest, make it easier on your knee. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, Keep breathing. Keep on pulling the leg in. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. We're chilling for just a little bit. Breathe, catch your breath. Plant both feet on the ground. Let your knees flop to one side. Let your hips relax. Maybe the low back is getting a little tiny stretch when your knees fall. And that is our fourth stretch. All right, how we doing on time? It is exactly 10 o'clock. We're 1 hour deep into the normal start time. And we have side splits left. If you've never been on the show before, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little easier to stay consistent with. So if you like hip mobility, you like the idea of working on your side splits, you think it's fun to have a bunch of other people to stay consistent with, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back because we're live every single day at 9 p.m. All right, we're going to move on into our side splits. In our side splits, we're going to break down all these little details into small pieces so that it's easy for you as a beginner to jump in, experiment, play with it, and get down as low as you can comfortably and safely. And that's it. That's pretty much all you need to know. We're going to go grab some tools now and get ready to begin. All right, first thing I want you to do is grab something for hand support. All right, I got this little folding stool off Amazon, and it was about 12 bucks many years ago. I have used this for all sorts of things. There's some tiny little hairline cracks in some places. I've thrown it around. I've moved a couple times, and it has survived a lot. All right, it's not a fancy. This is not a fancy. This is not a fancy special workout tool. This is just a stool. All right. When you have your stool, it doesn't even have to be a stool. It could be an ottoman. It could be a coffee table. It could be a small chair. It could be a kid's chair. It could be a regular wooden chair. As long as you have something you can put your hands onto for a little bit of support that will carry your weight so that your legs are not suffering through the whole entire extent of your body weight, you're going to be good. All right. If you have a regular kitchen chair, you can feel free to bend your arms so that you rest your elbows on the chair, and that should have about the same effect as a really low stool that you're putting your hands on. Cool? All right. Now, hopefully, that you've had a chance to grab some support, we're going to get ready to get into our stretches. I want you to put that slightly in front of you, and then I want you to scoot your butt all the way to the wall. Rest your butt against the wall. Keep that back nice and straight against it. And now I want you to take a tiny baby step forward. Not a crazy step, just a tiny baby step, right? I want you to open up your legs decently wide. I'm actually going to shift the foam flooring away real quick to try and get a slightly more consistent surface. Oh no, I'm destroying the whole thing. All right, let's try that again. Boom. That's enough room. Open up your legs so that your butt is still real close to the wall. And fold forward, put your hands on your hand support. Okay? This doesn't have to be fancy. It's just finding a nice, comfortable position that you're feeling strong, that you're feeling in control. Okay? From here, you might notice that there's a little bit of tension building here in the side of your hips. That is probably because your thigh bone has this big lumpy chunk right here. And if you usually just send your legs out to either side, that lumpy chunk is going to smash into your hips. It is going to cause a pinching pain. To avoid that, we're going to rotate the leg. We're going to take that lumpy part that's up here. We're going to send it backwards towards our butt cheeks. And then there's nothing there for that bumpy part to smash into back there, right? So what we're going to do is rotate the leg back 90 degrees. Boom. So the heel is down, the toes are pointing up, the knees are pointing up. And we're going to do that on both sides. Boom. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up, butt is against the wall, hands are on your hand support, and we are in position for our side splits, right? I want you to slowly see if you can wiggle just a little bit deeper into your stretch. Come down nice and slow. We're not looking for your deepest position right now. We're just trying to find a comfortable, controlled position. All right. Your hands are on your hand support, holding up some of your weight. Your legs are wide, your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up. Your butt is resting against the wall, is being supported. The wall is your best friend. Don't hesitate to lean into it. And when you found a comfortable position that you feel like you got control in, we're ready to go on. If you are not in a comfortable position, if you feel like you're about to tip over, you're about to lose balance, you're about to slip, pause, reset. Even if that means you have to pull your legs in a little closer to you. All right. The reason why we're doing this is because if you are about to fall, if you're full of fear, if you feel like you're about to tip over, you're about to lose balance, your muscles are going to fire really hard to keep you from flopping. All right. To keep you from leaning, to keep you from tipping. When your muscles are firing really hard, you are not going to be able to relax. Your muscles will not let you get into a deeper side split. All right. So find that comfortable position. And next, we're going to breathe. I want you to take a big breath in. Slowly hold on to that air and then exhale. Let out some air. See if you can drop your hips a little bit deeper. Adjust. Find that comfortable position again. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can get a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can get a little deeper into your stretch. All right. These are all optional, by the way. But if you feel like you can get a little bit more, do a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little wiggle to the right, a little wiggle to the left. And if you're ready to call it here, we're ready to begin counting down. All right. Right now, your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up, the top of your head is pointing up. Take your time. We're counting down 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. Your butt is resting against the wall for a little bit of support. Your hands are in front of you to keep you from falling forward, to keep you from falling backwards. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. See if you can move your hand support a little out of the way. Crawl your hands forward a little bit. Bring your legs underneath you. Come into a kneeling position. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. That is the really hard parts of stretch number 1. We're going to take a quick second. We're going to breathe. We're going to chill. We're going to try and relax a little bit. We're going to come up into standing and shake out the tension in our legs. All right. Come on back up into standing. Oh! If it's feeling crazy, if it's feeling intense, that's okay. It's totally normal. Waddle around a little bit like a kind of drunk looking penguin and get ready to shake. I want you to put all your weight into one leg and I want you to slowly shake out the ankle of the other leg. All right. Gentle shake, 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 flop, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 flop, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. If you're new to the show, the reason why we do this is because for your ankle to flop around super loose and fling itself all over the place, the muscles that would stop it have to be relaxed, right? And that's our goal. Start shaking, to start flopping, to start wiggling so we can teach our brain how to relax. And once you've shaken it out a little bit, I want you to take a couple of steps. Your legs should feel a little looser, should feel a little bit easier to move. Let's switch over to the other side. Start nice and gentle and slow. Pick up the intensity as you find it comfortable for you. Shake a little bit harder if you want. Again, this is about relaxation. All right, shaking fast is cool. It's related to relaxation, but you do not have to shake at 100% max speed in order to have enough relaxation for the things that we care about. All right, so you don't have to go 0 to 100 and go. That's a lot. You don't have to do that. You can flop around just like this at a moderate pace and get 99% of the benefits. All right. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, do a couple of knee bends. Test your legs. Hopefully, they're feeling a little bit better. And we're going to move on into our hips. I want you to put all of your weight into one leg. Big toe is down. We're going to rotate that knee in, rotate the knee out, in, out. I exaggerate with the arms, but you don't have to actually use those. We're focusing on just the muscles in the hip, in the glutes, to help bring the knee in and the knee out, and the knee in and the knee out, and the knee in and then out, and in and 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 out. All right. As you build strength, as you build control, as you get more comfortable, you can go a little faster, you can shake a little harder, you can focus more on the relaxation part. If you're brand new to this, focus on contracting your muscles, building up strength, and working on the range of motion. All right. Other leg, all your weight on one leg, big toe is down, in, out, 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 in, out. Whew, that is enough. We're gonna move on into our second side split. You ready? We explained the first one in a lot of depth. The second one's gonna be a little bit toned down compared to that first one. All right. Get your hand support out in front of you, butt up against the wall. Open up those legs. Make sure there's no pinching sensation in your hips. Slowly come on down. Put your hands down. Your butt is resting against the wall. Remember, we're looking for that comfortable position where you feel like you're in control. And once you've found something close to that, maybe it's time to rotate the legs. Boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. We're doing that on both sides. Boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. We're doing that on both sides. Rest your butt along the wall, slide down the wall with your butt, and let your legs go a little bit wider. All right, hands are basically touching the thighs underneath you, and we're just looking for a comfortable position where we can feel like we're in control so that we can relax. All right, big breath in, inhale, hold, exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. All right, again, inhale, hold, exhale. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale again, hold, exhale. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. If you want to stop right here, there's plenty. You can stop right now. If you're ready to go for a little bit more, if you're feeling a little ambitious, start nice and gentle. Do a little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left. You can get a little bit more. Great. We are in position for our second side split. You can do the version that we just did where our toes, our knees are pointing up, the top of our head is pointing up, or you can do this version where you walk your hands forward just a little bit. So it looks like you're about to do a push up. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. When you bring your hands forward, your knees are going to come with you. They're going to be pointing up at about a 45-degree angle instead of straight up at 90 degrees. All right. When you get into this position, you're going to feel more of a stretch in your inner thighs. That's what we want. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. To make the stretch more intense, bend your elbows. That'll put more pressure into your legs. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Almost done. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Whew. Bring your legs in underneath you. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, and that is our second session. Oh, whew. All right, you ready? It's time to shake it out. Come on back into standing. Shake out your legs. Flop that ankle around. Relax. Once you've gotten used to shaking out your ankles, you can start combining it with other things. Your arms have been supporting your weight too. Give them a little floppiness, give them a little shake. Keep on getting loose. Wiggle. Other leg. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Pretend you are overcooked spaghetti. You left in the pot because there's just like one strand left, and you're like, I got most of it. It's okay. And you come back to clean the dishes after dinner, and it's just that over soaked floppy piece that goes and then drips down the drain. That's what you are. Floppy noodles. All right. Next. What do we even do? We're just shaking out our legs. Next, we're gonna our hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg. Big toe is down. I want you to bring the knee in and out and 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 in and out. If you are new to the show, focus on maximizing that range of motion, building strength throughout the whole movement. If you're more of a regular, you've been doing this for a while, go as fast as you can. Have fun with it. Pretend you're like on a horse. You're going. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just making stuff up now. It kind of vaguely look like you're like riding a horse and like you're like using a little thing to spank the horse to go faster, going yeah, and then you go do sort of like this. I don't know if I'm all right. Whatever. I'm just gonna move on. Anyways, knees in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. Doesn't like if you like just pretend it's just half of a. Nah, all right, forget it. I'll prepare something better next time. All right, bring the knees in and out and in and out and in and out and shake out those hips. All right, we're gonna get into set split number 3, but first I gotta solve a puzzle over on TikTok before it kicks me out. I need to solve this before we get into set split number 3 because otherwise the live will just suddenly end. All right, hopefully your legs are shooken out. My random explanations of things and examples confuse the crap out of your brain, and we're ready to continue with our third and final side split. Let your butt rest against the wall, open up your legs, fold forward, put your hands on your hand support. Let your butt slide against the wall as you slowly come down. Open up those legs, find a nice comfortable position. Hold a whole bunch of your weight with your arms. If you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling balanced, you're not leaning too far to one side, your feet don't feel like they're about to slip, we're ready to rotate. Boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. All right? Once you're here, you're in your side splits. You might be a little bit high, but you are in your side splits. All right? Wiggle, squirm, find a comfortable spot, and we're going to breathe. Inhale, hold, exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale, hold, exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. If you're not sinking deeper, that's absolutely fine. All right. You don't have to push yourself into a deeper stretch. We're relaxing into the stretch. So if you got the extra space because your muscles are chill, take it. If you don't have it because they're not chill, that's okay. All right. One last time. Inhale, exhale, and go a little further if you can. Inhale, hold, exhale. All right. These are also optional. Do a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left. Just get that little tiny bit more depth if you got it in you. And we're ready to go. Third and final side split, you got options. You can do the first one where your toes and knees are pointing up, the top of your head is pointing up. You can do the second one where we're in that push-up position. Pick your poison and let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. That is our third and final side split. Walk your hands forward. Oh, bring your knees in. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. On the third and final side split, I tend to do an isometric hold. If you don't know what that is, I get into the side split position and I contract the muscles and hold myself up as deep in that side split as I can get. And that makes the third and final side split really, really painful for me. And that's why you might have noticed I counted really fast. That's actually how 30 seconds went because I was looking at a clock while I was doing that. So realistically, I just went slow for everything else and I went normal time for that. All right. Come on up into standing. Let's shake out our legs one last time. We just finished 3 side splits and we're done with all the hard stuff. It's time to chill out, to shake, to flop, to relax so that you can go do whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right. Let's do this. Shake out the ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And once we've done our shaking, our flopping, our joint checks, I'll sit down, look at the Q&A after I tell you about all the other cool things we got coming up. All right. Shake out the ankles. Flop, 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 flop. If you have mastered the ankle flop technique, you can start adding in other things, by the way. If you want to take those muscles that you've been using for the in and out and combine them all into one thing all at once and go, that's totally fine with me. All right. The ankle shake, the hip thing, those are just examples to help get everybody started. But if you got something that works for you, you can feel free to add it in for yourself because all we care about is relaxation. All right. I think we've shaken out both legs. But if you haven't finished up, one last couple of 2 or 3 or more seconds. One last couple of 2 or 3 or more seconds. What am I even saying? All right. All your weight in one leg. Big toe is down. Let's work on those hips. In, out, 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 in, out. And the other side. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And whew. Should be pretty good. Shake out your leg one last time. Do a little flop. You are a soggy noodle. Flop it out. And let's get ready to do some joint checks. First thing we're going to do is some really, really slow and deep hip circles. I want you to really lean into that hip. I want you to slowly come on around. Feel that deep stretch everywhere. And keep going. Whew. Experiment. See what feels tense. Give those spots a little bit of love, a little extra attention. Reverse it, turn the other way, and keep going. Whew. All right, that is some really deep hip circles. Next, we're gonna do a quick high knee. Boom and boom. If your knees are coming up, nothing else matters. We can move on. Next, we want to do some calf raises in a squatting position. That is how we wrap up this show. We're gonna challenge a whole bunch of our lower body muscles, tendons, balance, and joints. All right. What I want you to do, I almost turned around into the demo. Okay. We're gonna bring our feet right underneath our hips. Not super wide, not super narrow, just about hips width apart. All right. We're gonna pop into a squat, and I want that squat to look a little bit like this. All right. I want your chest to come kind of forward, peeking out this way, so it looks like you're about to tip over. And I want you to make that tipping worse by bringing your knees way far forward. All right. Once your knees are way far that way, I want you to keep on folding forward. Try to almost tip over. The reason why we're doing this, putting ourselves into this crazy position, is because when you're feeling like you're about to be off balance, your feet, your toes are going to kick in. They're going to grip the floor. The arch of your foot is going to get real tense to keep you supported, to keep you from falling forward. And that is what we want to stress out your feet. Put your hands down on either side for a little bit of support and focus on lifting those heels up. Calf raise. Come on back down. Take these with slow, controlled steps. Oh, I find that you can actually contract a lot harder when your fingers are on the ground. Do as many as you'd like. If it feels crazy and you want to stop, feel free to wrap up there. All right. What we just did was force our feet to go through a lot. When you're leaning super far forward, with your knees way far over there, your toes are going to kick in to grip the floor. Your arch is going to try to flex to keep your foot from flopping and shaking so that you stay supported. The rest of your body is leaning and doing crazy things. Something is going to try and tension up and try to keep you balanced. All right. That same principle applies to all sorts of weird pain and naggy things going on in your body. If something is off balance, something else is going to work real hard to keep you functional. Sometimes that turns into that muscle working triple, quadruple overtime. That muscle pulling so hard, it's causing you discomfort. It's making you move really poorly because something else isn't doing their job. All right. But for this example, when your knees are really far forward, you're going to have a nice deep Achilles tendon stretch. You're going to have a nice deep calf stretch. And then we challenge the calves even more by doing that calf raise. Our quads will probably be complaining the whole entire time because you're holding up your whole body weight and you're just hanging there waiting for my instructions. Your low back and your glutes are working on folding forward, holding you there. So all those muscles were working real hard, and they were working real hard with your joints because we started doing some calf raises, coming up and down, challenging each of those positions. So your tendons, your muscles, your joints, they were all working real hard together to keep you moving in those calf raises in that really awkward position. So if you were able to do most of that, 75, 80% ish of that, then you're probably fine to go back to doing whatever you have to do for the rest of the day. All right. That is it for the live. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for coming back to practice consistency, side splits, and hip mobility. We do this live every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. We started a little bit late today because I fell asleep on the floor waiting for the show to begin. And then I woke up and it was already 10 minutes into the show, and I was like, oh. So thank you for still being around, hanging out, getting the workout in despite the late start. I appreciate that you're all here. I make some other content. All right. Most of the content I make is not related to the side splits at all, actually. And a lot of it is about trying to get a little bit of exercise into your life without making it feel like a big burdening thing. All right. If you got 2 minutes, you're waiting for coffee to come out the machine in the morning, you're waiting for your microwave to heat up a meal, you're waiting for pasta to boil, and you got 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Those are really, really good opportunities to get a little bit of exercise. And the reason why I say this is because if you could do 2 minutes of calf raises, you could do 2 minutes nonstop of squats. If you could do 2 minutes of our Cossack switches that we did earlier today, that would be a crazy amount of Cossack switches. All right. So don't sleep on those moments. If you add them in, one, you'll feel real good about yourself because you did something absolutely crazy and badass. Two, your joints will actually love you and appreciate you for it. All right. Doing a little bit of movement is how you take care of your joints. They don't have blood vessels. If they had blood vessels, every time you took a step, your knees would explode into piles of blood. All right, maybe not explode into piles of blood, but like you'd have a big old bruise every single time you took a step. Joints, because they encounter so much force, don't get nutrients the way that your muscles do. And the only way for most of them to get new nutrients is for you to move, to pump some of this synovial fluid around, flushing out the toxins, all the gross stuff that your body doesn't need, and bringing in the good new stuff that it does, right? So if you're, slightly injured, got old weird things going on, movement is probably going to help you heal a little bit faster, right? If you get through the initial stages of acute pain, and now it's just a dull ache, movement is probably going to help you out way more than letting it rest, letting it chill. Because when you rest too long, when you chill too long, your muscles are going to get weaker and they're going to be even worse at their job. Right? The worse they are at the job, the more you're going to baby it. And now you're in this horrible cycle where your muscles keep on getting weaker, your joints still aren't healed, and everything's just going to hurt more and more and more. So at some point to recover, you just got to bite the bullet and get a little bit of movement going. All right? Why did I even begin that ramble? Is because my other content is about getting a little bit of fitness into your life, all right? Without the pressure of a super thorough, thoughtful, perfect plan. Just working on some things that are cool, a little bit fun, shake it out, get loose. You'll feel better, you get a little energy boost, and your joints will appreciate you for it. All right. Is there anything else? I recently released a video over on YouTube. The username is at splits on the side. It is the same username as on TikTok. That video is about pull-ups. If you're working on your first pull-up, there's usually two main things that people recommend to work towards the strength needed for that first pull-up. One of them is using bands, giant things of rubber to help pull you into the pull-up bar so that you can use a little bit less strength. If you don't have that strength, you're using less strength and you're getting up to that bar, right? There's also a second technique called negatives, where you get to the pull-up bar and then you let yourself down slowly. And it uses this idea that when you come down, you can be 20 to 50% stronger compared to when you pull up in the first place. So when you practice the coming down, you can build a lot of strength without actually ever doing the pull up portion, just the let down portion. And Use that as a technique for building strength, for building control, for building confidence in your pull up. My video is about combining both of those into one super powered move to maximize your time, which is a little bit, different from the regular stuff where it's like just chill and enjoy a little bit of movement. This one's a little bit more focused on doing pull ups and making the best use of your time with the tools that you have. If you like that idea, if you like those principles, I don't even know what I'm pointing to. Go somewhere, go find YouTube and go find that video. Jake says, "Thank you for your content. I love it. Thank you." And flower emoji person, whose name is Lowell Space Monkey, welcome, says, "I needed that ramble. Good, good. I'm glad the ramble is useful for somebody." Okay. Um, I think that's enough me telling you about stuff that I do, giving you stuff to check out. I'm gonna look at the questions. I'm gonna look at the chat and see if there's anything I can respond to, anything I can help answer. If you have been on for a while, you sent something really early in the beginning, feel free to throw it back into the chat so I see it right now. If you are waiting on something to be answered, I'm going to scroll backwards up towards the beginning of the show, and hopefully I'll answer whatever comes in. All right. Andy Lima 98765 on YouTube asks, toe spread for foot mobility, tips for toe spread. Um, my thoughts on toe spread. Yes. All right. Oh, actually, perfect. I got some random doohickeys. There are lots of these doohickeys that you can get off of probably like AliExpress, off Temu for like 50 cents. And these are like little silicone things that you can stick in between your toesies to give yourself a little bit of space. I have used them briefly to recognize the importance of why you might want to have more toe split. All right. For most of us, when we wear shoes, especially the most trendy, cool looking ones like the Adidas's, which have the cool little rounded tip thing, forces your big toe to kind of squish inwards like this, right? It's not very toe shaped. So toe splay, typically in modern day, is something that people who care about foot health and who care about barefoot style and natural foot shapes will. That's something somebody who cares about those things will talk about. Um, the principle is your toes should be able to go out nice and wide, similar to how your hands can do the same thing. All right, you can spread your fingers out. If you want to work on toe plate, I think oftentimes to begin to really feel and understand why it could be important to you is to start by using one of these crazy looking silicone things where you stick a lump in between each toe and it forces you to have something in between each of your toes. Once you've done that, and then you've tried to do some athletic movement, you like try to change directions from side to side, and you realize what happens when your big toe is helping you out and you're pushing off your big toe instead of having your big toe kind of crimped inwards, and you're kind of pushing off the side of your big toe instead of off the actual big toe, you'll be like, oh wow, I totally understand why power generation could be a little bit different if my big toe was being useful instead of being squished into the side. That is not to say that all shoes are like this. That's not to say that you can't just buy extra wide shoes that are also stylish and let your toes go wide enough for you to do what you need to do. But there is a universe out there of spreading your toes, and there's more or less extreme versions of that principle. For toe splay, I think hanging out barefoot and just chilling with some stuff like this for long enough that it helps is nice and important. Getting rid of things that hold you back is probably nice and important. If you're working from home all the time and you're walking around barefoot anyway, you don't have to worry about replacing your shoes. You're not wearing your shoes that often, right? Because you're working from home and you're spending most of your day in regular flat barefoot world. But if you work at the office all day and your feet are in shoes 16 hours a day because you have a nightlife, you meet people, you have to do networking after work, whatever, um, you're basically forcing your foot into a certain shape. If you got really big boat-like shoes on you, you're not doing that to yourself. But if you got nice, cool, sleek dress shoes, in particular for men, or most women's shoes that look really pretty tend to have that super sharp point at the front, right? And then your big toe kind of goes boop all the way in. Typically, it makes your feet weaker. It makes it so that your foot can't be as strong because your big toe can't do nearly as much work as it is designed to do. All right. Um, Andy's question was, what can you do about toe split? I honestly don't know. I haven't had that much problem with toe splay because I've, from a very young age, been really annoyed by really narrow toe box shoes long before like barefoot shoes was a trend, and so I always bought shoes like maybe two sizes too big, because I was like, oh no, it's way more comfortable when I can move my toes. And I didn't know that people cared about that stuff, so I just always had way too big shoes that looked really goofy. And so now that I've exposed myself for goofy, oversized shoes, that's just how it is. How far can you split? I don't know, like this. That's about as far as I can get. Um, my toes can do things. I use my feet because I'm lazy to grab stuff, to lift stuff, to do fun things. Let me see if I have enough dexterity to lift this. Do I have enough strength to lift this? Yeah, boom, right? So don't break my toes. I tend to do a lot of movement. In certain sports where you need to be able to push off the ground effectively, change direction effectively, like wrestling, you need to have a lot of strength in your big toe because it actually powers a lot of movement. So I think I just happen to organically fall into a bunch of different sports, a bunch of different movement styles, and personal comfort that happens to work really well with the barefoot sort of lifestyle. Um, but for most people, stylish shoes is way more important than your toes spreading wide, right? Like it's not, this is not judgment. This is just how it is. We got sneakerheads. There's all sorts of people who love beautiful shoes, and there's nothing wrong with loving beautiful shoes. I'm just asking you to take a mental note that your big toes are designed to do a whole bunch of stuff. All right, they're designed to be really powerful. They're designed to help push off the ground for you to generate power. They're designed to spread to help you balance. So if you've been struggling with balance, if you've been struggling with a whole bunch of different things, might be your big toe that needs a little bit of extra love. All right. Um, so yeah, I think to get you started, you have to actually truly appreciate what your big toe is doing for you. And the only way to really do that is to get that big toe out of the way and squished, back out that way. Usually, if you can get this straight line up and down, that's probably a normal like toe alignment. If your toe is kind of tucked in this way and is going in to the inside, that's typical of what shoes shapes generally are, right? They like tend to round out that way. So play around, experiment, work on the idea of getting your toe out a little bit, shifting your movement a little bit, and see if that feels good. If you truly deep down believe that it's going to help you, it's going to be much easier to do it, right? If you think it's just another gimmick and you're going to buy like 50-cent things from Amazon, then it's not, you're not going to do anything about it anyway, right? So, uh, what else do you need to know? There's lots of little exercises you can do for your feet to strengthen your feet, right? Do I have anything I can think of right now? Do. Nope. All right, we're just gonna have to make something do. I really briefly showed you all the weird, crazy things I can do with that stool, but there's other things, right? Like you can use your toes to pick things up. You can scrunch your toes so that you're making a fist basically with your feet, and you can use that to help pull yourself forward on the ground, strengthen up those toes, just like you would train your grip strength to hold on to stuff. You can train your toes to pull yourself forward. If you were able to do like 100 reps of those, your toes would be ridiculously tired. It's the end of the day, so you can actually do that now. But if you have other stuff you need to do, maybe don't do that right now. What else? You have lots of toe muscles. Just like your fingers can lift up, right? You can do the same with your toes. You can bring all of them up off the ground. You can stretch them out like so that your toes are pointing straight forward while your ankles are all the way up. You can do that on both sides. You can do the opposite. You can have your fists, your toes kind of become fists, right? So that your toes are pointing back behind your foot. What else can you do that is important? Your big toe is the biggest finger bone, your toe bone. I don't know what I'm saying. It can typically do a lot more than the others. You might be able to come up real high on your tippy toes and experiment with getting real strong in those positions. It's not that important for you to do so. I don't know why I can do that. I just can. I don't go out of my way to train my toes typically. I just happen to have really strong toes because I'm weird. I don't know. And all that is to demonstrate that your toes are capable of doing a lot more than most people are doing with their toes. And it helps with balance. It helps with power generation. It helps with control. So if you're interested, look up some barefoot. Look up some. Is there any other keywords? Natural running. That type of keyword will take you into that universe. If you don't want to be bombarded with ads, feel free to go into incognito mode before you search, because it'll take you down a huge rabbit hole of lots of interesting and weird products that will start coming at you on every single platform. All right, that was a big tangent on toe and feet, and I'm gonna continue. Wow, I think that was the first comment I looked at. Let's go up backwards. Keisha says hello. Side splits family. Hello, hello, hello. Notorious says floor sleeping is the best. Passing out on the floor until your arms go numb, that is not as much the best. I woke up and I was like, oh no, my arm doesn't work. uh, Notorious says, I wish I could stretch consistently. Stretch right now with us, Craven Fields responds, yes. I hope you actually stretched with us because it is what we do. This is the whole point of the show. We're hanging out, we're stretching, we're trying to make the whole thing a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more educational, I guess, in context. And hopefully that helps you stay a little bit more consistent. The goal at the end of the day is consistency, right? You can do a crazy workout one time, other than beating yourself up for that one time. If you don't keep doing it, you're not going to get any of the benefits, right? It's the consistency that gets you results. And so all we care about here is consistency. This workout, in fact, is designed with consistency in mind. It's designed so that we do basically the minimum necessary to get a stretch response from the body, to get a response from the body where we actually get a little bit more flexible. It's not designed for you to get there as fast as possible. It's designed so that you can be practicing consistency and let consistency do the hard work. If you could stay consistent, then you can go do the really hard optimized like workouts for developing flexibility as fast as possible. Most of us, even if we spend money looking for a training program, we hire a coach, if they're not nagging on our butts, we're gonna be typically people who go, oh wow, I'm super sore, I'm gonna take a day off, I'll see you tomorrow, and then maybe we'll drop off a little bit. All right, I'm saying that from personal experience. I have tried to get the side splits many, 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 many times, probably 30 times over 15 years. Typically, I watch a bunch of YouTube videos, I build out a perfect plan, and then I get sore after like 3 days, maybe 2 weeks if I'm really focused on any given year, and then drop off for like 6 more months, right? So if that story sounds familiar, know that I have done that exact thing like 30 times over 15 years. So I know what having the best plan, but not being able to do it because, I'm not just motivated to do it or whatever reason, feels like. And that is why the live is designed around building consistency, having this sort of group class dynamic so that a whole bunch of other people are suffering with you, and it's not just you doing this by yourself, making it a bigger deal than following along video on YouTube. It's still basically following along on a video, but at least I'm here, right? Okay. What else we got? Queen RR says, welcome everyone. Jalen Ruiz says, hip mobility work. Great balance, bro. Oh, hey, thanks. And yes, so Sunny Jenna is definitely not on the live because there's two people left on the YouTube live, but a whole bunch of people are like, hey, what is this for? Hip mobility and side splits. Cool. All right. I'm gonna scroll down because I started rambling a long time ago. I'm gonna see if there's anything to address. Travel actually says I like wearing wide shoes. Definitely way more comfortable. Good, good. Haku says barefoot shoes as well. I do wear barefoot style shoes, and I have worn barefoot style shoes for many years. I'm trying to think back to when that started. Probably 10 years now. Wow, that's crazy. Suddenly I feel really old. Around 2016, I think, is when I got my first pair of wider toe box shoes or barefoot style shoes. You don't have to go barefoot shoes all the way. For most people, especially if you've been used to shoes that have a big heel, like running sneakers, for decades and decades and decades, it's going to be really different for you to switch over. If you're someone who runs on the beach barefoot and hangs out in flip flops all year around, it's not going to be nearly as big a transition. All right. So, depending on how you already experience your feet doing whatever, it's going to have slightly different impact on your physical performance. When I say performance, I make it sound like you're about to go do a sport. But when I say performance in this context, I mean if you have been somebody who stayed living in sneakers with a heel that's like an inch thick, and the front comes up like this, and then the toe kind of pops up, your toes have not been pushing into the ground for stability for a long time, right? Your heel has been really high off the ground. Your Achilles tendon has probably been shortened a little bit. Your calf muscles have been shortened a little bit for a long time. There are plenty of women who spend a lot of time in heels who feel uncomfortable walking around barefoot because they have contracted the calf muscles for so long that they need to keep their heels up, especially older women who've had like their whole lives in heels, right? That is normal. Your body is going to adapt to a lot of situations. Sometimes it ends up being, pain and uncomfortable and stuff, but it will adapt to a lot, and then eventually it might end up being pain and discomfort. So oftentimes for us, because our body is so good at adapting, when you start feeling that pain, typically you've been slouching for a long time, you've been having bad posture for a long time, you've been walking with weird form for a long time, you've been like not knowing, you've been doing a weird limp for a long time, and now after a while your knee is telling you, hey, this is not good for your knee. You keep on limping and we keep compensating and all this stuff is going on. That went on a huge tangent, but I do wear barefoot style shoes for the most part. You don't have to jump straight to shoes with no cushioning whatsoever because there's a big community around like as minimal a sole as possible. Typically, most people's feet are not going to be ready for that because you can feel like stones. You can feel the texture of the ground that you're standing on. It's not particularly comfortable. And if you're not used to it, it's going to be a big shock. There are brands like Ultra running shoes who have wide toe boxes and have those chunky, cushiony soles. So if you're somebody who's been wearing chunky sneakers for a long time, that might be a good transition piece. New Balance tends to have really wide shoes, and I don't know, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they used to like look a little goofy. They're on a resurgence these last couple of years, and I have no idea how the quality of those are these days because I assume they're on like a big fashion thing, and typically when something is hot and fashionable, quality goes down. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that when things get popular, people start shaving costs off. Like Uggs used to be made of like real leather and fur and stuff. Now I'm pretty sure it's all synthetic because it got super profitable and somebody started cashing out. All right, so don't take that negativity as a sign of my judgment of their quality. I haven't worn New Balances in like 15 plus years, so I got no idea. But New Balances tend to have really wide foot shapes or foot openings. They tend to be a little domier, especially the older like styles made of like suede and stuff. I think everything. I don't know what they make these days, but you can probably check those out for an in between shoe that looks relatively fashionable and also lets your toes spread out a little bit, right? There's in betweens. You don't have to go all in at once. But if you do want to go all in at once, there's also lots of brands that let you go jump right in. And I would encourage you to take it slow, to take it easy, especially if you have not gotten used to barefoot shoes, because you got to adapt backwards, right? Like I said earlier, if you're somebody who lives in flip flops year round, you probably don't even need them. It doesn't even matter to you. If you are someone who wears dress shoes and a suit all the time, you might not even find a reasonable way to switch to a different style of shoe because you have to look a certain way. Might not be viable for you, but you can try to undo some of the toe clampingness at home with some of those toe spreaders. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna move on. Next topic. Oh, nothing else has come up. I'm gonna see how far back we can go. Jake says, thank you for your content. I needed that ramble. Great, great, great. I've seen those already. Yule Tears asks if I speak Chinese. I do speak Chinese. True Blue 323 says riding crop. I don't know what that means. Oh, oh yes, 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 yes. We were doing the horse riding thing. My girlfriend gave me the craziest look and was like, "What are you saying?" So I immediately started fumbling with my words and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just backtrack on this the best I can. Debbie West says, thank you so much for explaining everything so well. Thank you, Debbie. I try my best to make sure that the live is welcoming so that if you're hopping in for the first time, you have enough information to get going to jump into the exercise. I try to slim down the explanation so it doesn't take too long so that our regulars can get in, get the exercises done without the show running for a really long time. So it's kind of difficult to balance the show for the people who are coming in brand new and for the people who are regulars and have been coming in for a long time. If you are a regular, if you are brand new and you enjoyed the show, let me know that it was good. Let me know if sometimes you feel like I'm a little bit too light on the explanations if you're new to the show. If you're a regular and you're like, Ken, maybe you can explain this in a different way that doesn't take half an hour, let me know. I'm totally open to the feedback, right? My goal is to make this show concise enough so that the people who are here practicing consistency every single day can get through it relatively quickly, and the people who are new get enough information that they can hop right in and we can keep on building the community. And I am open to feedback. All right, I'm going to scroll. Got some compliments. I think Space Monkey says you are amazing. I think that was the username. LJ says, let's go. Ren Knee Love says, ugh, sore. Reina feels it in their hips. Those are all normal. So I don't have anything to comment on those. Whisker says, I promise it gets, or sorry, True Blue says to Whisker, I promise it gets better the more you come. True Blue, thank you for the compliment. Midori says, oh, cool, never seen a fitness live stream. Really? Once you've watched a couple, I'm sure TikTok is going to start sending you all of them. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be overwhelmed. Ganzor says, hey, y'all, check out the new World Cup song. Cool. All right. I hope that self promotion works for you. Whisker says, just got on the floor and nearly broke my neck. I'll come back tomorrow with more dignity. Oh, Whisker. And now I understand the comment. Um, you're probably not on, but if you happen to be on, when you're trying brand new things, it's gonna be hard. It takes time to learn. It takes time to be comfortable. I sort of said this earlier when we were doing the hip cars right at the beginning, like an hour and a half ago. When you're trying even a very similar movement that you've done basically before, like the hip cars, but instead of doing it standing, you take it to the floor, and it looks a little bit like this instead of like this. When you're doing something new, it's gonna feel crazy. Your brain is gonna be trying to figure it out. Everything is gonna be tense. You're gonna waste a lot of energy, and that is just how being a beginner feels. I don't want you to be dissuaded. I don't want you to feel intimidated. I don't want you to feel like, you know, you might have almost broken your neck, and that cost you some dignity. All right. I don't need to know that, right? You don't need to tell me. Everything's cool. You don't need to be so hard on yourself. We all become beginners at something or another. And I hope you continue to be beginners at something or another because that is how you keep life interesting. All right. When you learn new things, it keeps your brain young and healthy. And when you move well, it keeps your brain and healthy as well. So combine both those things together. If you're going to go learn some salsa dancing, some ballroom, have some fun, meet some people, amazing. I think all three of those things keep you young and healthy. So go do that. There's no way you're going to be a pro at everything, right? It's there's too much in the world to be a pro at. So it's okay. Come back, hang out, work on your side splits, and have a good time because that is what consistency is about. Consistency is not about coming in with 100% maximum energy, giving your 100% best every single day. That is craziness. All right. For some people, maybe that works. That's not how most people work. All right. If you're having a 30% day, you're not having a great day, you're a little sick, you're a little depressed, whatever it is, if you show up, you practice consistency, give what you got. All right. I'm not expecting 100% every day. I don't give 100% every day. I try my best to keep my energy up to keep you guys motivated. But there are plenty of days where my dog vomited and I didn't sleep well at all. And I'm just going, oh, I can't wait to go to bed. Give what you got. Cool. All right. Liz Bobia says, oh, I'm late, but I'll be back tomorrow. I want to catch the warm up. Awesome. I hope you know that tomorrow the live starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. I'm gonna scroll up really quick. RXP says, "Are you go gym?" I typically don't go to the gym. I already spend an hour and a half doing this live every single day, working on a little bit of side splits. I'm generally not going out of my way to get that much more exercise. That does not mean that you shouldn't get more exercise. That just means that I am prioritizing making sure I get the time in for the side splits for the live over building more strength, building more speed, or other things that I could be training for. And that's where I'm at today in my training and I guess trying to grow the social media thing. So I don't go to the gym, but I used to go a lot more often. I have built up some strength, I've built up some skill, I've practiced a whole bunch of other things. And for the most part, if you maintain with a little bit of movement, you try to do some cool stuff, have fun here and there, it won't disappear on you very fast. All right. If you get really extreme, right? Like you're like a top 1% bodybuilder and then you take 3 weeks off and you don't do anything, you might lose quite a bit of muscle pretty fast because you're already at like the peak of your body's existence. You've optimized things. As soon as you stop optimizing, all of the benefits of optimization are going to go bye bye and shoot. But for normal people, you got a huge range of what your body is capable of. So if you've built up some strength, you've held on to it for a couple months, you've held on to it for a year or two, you've been very consistent about training. If you take a month or two off, you're not going to lose very much of it very fast. All right. And when you get back to training, you'll get back the strength that you lost much, 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 much faster than how you gained it the first time. So training is probably always worth it if you got something cool that you want to do, right? So a lot of the shows content that we do is like hip mobility and doing some basic stuff, hanging out on the floor, being able to get up a little bit more comfortably, finding ways to shift your body weight around and do like relatively cool things. We're not doing that much strength work to go, we're going to be able to jump 4 feet into the air. That's not what the show is about. But if those are things you care about, if you want to be able to dunk and you are not very tall, that's a very admirable thing to train for. And you should absolutely go work on that stuff if that's what you care about. All I care about is you do it with consistency. Cool? All right. Mr. Roboto016 says, hey, love your videos. Amazing. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for being here. I think we're about ready to wrap. I am not seeing that much. Oh, wait, a whole bunch of comments just came in. Cherry says, really enjoyed it. Lovely. Thank you, Cherry. Welcome. I think it's the first time I've seen you in the chat. Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you loved this live, and I hope you come back because we do this live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. The Q&A and the chit chat at the end has run quite a bit longer than usual. We're basically hitting, what does that say? 104 minutes. But 40 or so of those minutes have been chit chat. Let's see what else we got. That looks like, and Josh says, hey Ken, hey, That's it. That looks like it's all alive. There's still like 40 of you between the two platforms. Thank you for being here. I'm ready to wrap up. Check out some of my other content. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Hopefully, when you doom scroll next time, waiting for your coffee to come out, your microwave to finish up heating your food, your toaster heating up your bread, or whatever, you run into one of my videos, you still got 30 seconds left and get a tiny little mini exercise, mini workout, help your joints feel some love, help you and your heart get a little bit of pumping going so that you have a better day. All right, that's it for me. I'm wrapping up. I hope you had a great weekend. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. It is about to hit 11 p.m. Eastern. So that is what, 10 hours? Oh man, I need to go to bed. 10 hours from now, we'll be back. We'll be doing some back strengthening, some shoulder strengthening, some posture ish stuff, some stretches for the neck to help undo some of the sitting that you've been doing all week. All right. Look forward to that in about 10 hours. And then 24 hours from now, that's not even true. 22 hours from now, we'll be back to our regular standard side split content. All right. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. side splits. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. posture